what does it mean to fear the Lord? I have so many women that ask me this question because they think that sometimes it's about being scared.
Or afraid.
Well, hi, I'm Deneen.
And I'm Lethea Owens.
And today on Faith Focus with Women of Audacious Faith, we are going to be talking about this topic. So, the fear of the Lord. When you think about the fear of the Lord, what is your first inclination? Where do you go?
So, Deneen, I have to say that when I first heard that, I was extremely confused because I thought, why would God want me to fear him? Like, that didn't make sense. I thought about like my earthly father. I was afraid of my earthly father and mother, but, because I was going to get punished, right, if I did something wrong. But why would God want us to fear him? I just really had difficulty with that because, as I'm trying to understand faith, I realized that faith and fear don't coexist. Mm-hmm. But then I realized that the word fear that was being used in that situation wasn't the fear that I was thinking of.
So it tells us in Deuteronomy, way back here, that it says, "And now, O Israel, what does the Lord your God ask of you? But to fear the Lord your God, to walk in his ways, to love him, to serve him, your God, with all your heart and with all your soul, and to observe the Lord's commands and decrees that I am giving you today for your own good."
Yes. And so that word fear is really talking about the reverence, holding God in a very sacred place in our lives and having reverence for his sovereignty and for who he is. Really, that's what it is, isn't it?
Yes. And how do we do that? So when we think about this, Lethea, when we think about what are the ways, the steps, the scripture here tells us some of the ways. It says we have to love God. Mm-hmm. Because in giving him reverence, giving him awe, we love him. We serve him. We serve him with our heart and our soul. And later on in scripture, we add our mind and our strength. Mm-hmm. Jesus actually adds that to it. And we're supposed to observe his commands. Not just look at them, but do them.
Right, absolutely.
But do them.
Not just hear them, but do them.
So when I think about this, as far as for us as Christian businesswomen, I think of I've totally stolen this off of you, is making God your CEO.
Oh, absolutely.
And what does that mean?
Chief Everything Officer.
Exactly. And so when we are making him our Chief Everything Officer, that means that we meet with him every day.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Well, because, if we have a boss, if we are working for a CEO and the CEO says, it's time to have a meeting, we have to have a meeting, we don't go, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'm too busy, I need to go do this over here." No, we say, "Oh, okay," we get our notepad or we get our computer. We stop what we're doing to meet with our CEO. And I think that we don't fear our bosses, but we respect them.
Not a good boss. We don't fear them.
Yes.
Right.
Well, God's the best boss.
Absolutely, the best boss on the planet. I love that you mentioned that God is our CEO because I feel like, I believe that we are like the COO, the Chief Operating Officer, to execute the vision of the Chief Everything Officer.
Right, and we can only know the vision if we're spending time with him.
Yeah.
And I love that we get to serve him in this capacity, that we have actual real things that we do, because it comes from being in relationship with him and then serving him. Definitely comes from, we have to love God.
Yes. I remember I worked for a leader once. He wasn't quite the CEO, but he was my leader. And I had a lot of reverence for him. And I wanted to make him proud. I wanted to do a great job because I wanted him to look good. And I just think about that being a small example of the parallel of our relationship with God and wanting to reverence who he is in our lives. And that was an easy way for me to then understand the fear that we're talking about in the scripture.
So if we are saying that we're fearing God and someone asks you, what does that mean? I think we can say that we respect, we have awe for, we know that he is the one that is guiding us through everything that we're doing, and we want to please him. Yes. I think that's a good place to put it.
I agree.
Thank you so much for joining us today on Faith Focus with Women of Audacious Faith. We hope to see you next time. And always remember,
you are loved, valued, appreciated, and highly celebrated.